Washington, D.C. is a city filled with opinions about nearly any topic you could imagine. And many of those opinions come from research organizations, so-called think tanks, that have become an integral part of the U.S. public policy process. Some of these research organizations frame issues within the context of certain political or social viewpoints. Others remain detached from the political fray and simply provide facts with which decision makers can reach conclusions. Former U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations John Bolton, who is now with a research organization called the American Enterprise Institute, or AEI, says think tanks differ in approach as well as orientation.
There's a huge range of difference among the various institutions. Some are philosophically based, some do work with the government on government contracts addressing particular issues. Others, like AEI and Brookings, Heritage, CSIS, are completely funded independently of the government.
Most think tanks are set up on a nonprofit basis. They get their operating cash from grants from charitable foundations, from individuals who believe in their missions, and from corporations who get a tax benefit for their contributions. Jeffrey Hyde at the RAND Corporation says that even though RAND is paid for some of its work by the U.S. government and private sector entities, it insists on remaining neutral regarding the issues being examined. He says that helps to maintain the credibility of its research and its recommendations.
The key thing is that we try to play it right down the middle. We are all about chasing facts and about applying objective analysis to those facts. What we hope is that leads us into a place that is completely non-ideological, where we're all about the facts and all about objective analysis. And we are neither right nor left. We are attacked by left and right.
But for some research organizations, determining the facts of an issue is only the beginning. They then step outside the traditional academic role into activism, as Georgetown University professor Mark Rome points out.
They don't just have research, they go out and they promote that research. They don't just say, here's our study. They actually become lobbyists. And so their scholars will meet with members of Congress, meet with people in the executive branch to say, here is what we found and here's what you should do. So they move across the line from a researcher to becoming salespeople. They have an idea that they want to sell.
Professor Rome says examples of such advocacy can be found among some of the research organizations that focus on social issues, the environment, and also nuclear disarmament. To resolve the potential conflicts of an organization conducting both research and activism, some separate the two activities. One example is the Center for American Progress. Chief Operating Officer Neera Tandon says part of the organization works like a traditional think tank,
which is very much focused on having policy folks sit around a table or whatever venue and think through what the challenges are to the country and what their solutions should be. So they very much engage in the kind of basic research work and basic policy work. Then we have American Progress Action Fund, which is an advocacy organization. So that organization is more focused on taking the ideas that our C3, Center for American Progress, has, and promoting them in the Hill, promoting them in the media, promoting them in states, promoting them in the White House. We are interested in moving ideas in a more progressive direction.
Besides conducting research and making recommendations on issues, these think tanks perform yet another role in Washington. As is the case with Ambassador Bolton, they provide a place where people with significant experience in a previous presidential administration can continue to work on important policy issues and to wait for changing political fortunes and a possible return to government. We will look at this in greater detail in our next segment. Jeffrey Young, VOA News.
Let's begin by sort of outlining the way in which we think about this as an Afghanistan-Pakistan strategy, as an AFPAC strategy. I mean, the core notion